The life of Vlad the Impaler. Few figures in history evoke the intrigue and duality of Vlad the Impaler, also known as Vlad III or Vlad Dracula. To some, he was a vicious tyrant, remembered for horrific acts of cruelty. To others, he was a hero, a staunch defender who safeguarded his homeland during a time of relentless conflict. Straddling the line between history and myth, Vlad's story endures both as a reflection of his turbulent era and as the dark inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. This is the tale of Vlad the Impaler, ruthless ruler, protector, and legend. To understand Vlad's life, we must first explore the world into which he was born. The 15th century saw southeastern Europe caught in the throes of geopolitical upheaval. Wallachia, a small principality nestled between the Carpathian Mountains and the Danube River, was a buffer state between Christian Europe and the encroaching Ottoman Empire. Both forces vied for control of this strategically vital region. Wallachia's rulers faced the constant threat of invasion, combined with domestic instability and betrayal from rival factions. It was an era of shifting alliances and brutal wars, a crucible that would shape Vlad into one of history's most infamous rulers. Vlad III was born around 1431 into the noble house of Draculeshti, a branch of Wallachian royalty. His father, Vlad II, was a member of the chivalric Order of the Dragon, an elite society dedicated to defending Christianity against Ottoman expansion. From this order, father and son derived the name Dracula, meaning son of the dragon. However, Vlad's early years were marred by strife. In 1442, Vlad and his younger brother, Radu, were sent as political hostages to the Ottoman court while their father pledged loyalty to the empire. This was a common practice of the time, ensuring the loyalty of Wallachian rulers to their Ottoman overlords. Yet captivity left an indelible mark on young Vlad. While he was educated in warfare, governance, and Ottoman customs, he never forgave this perceived betrayal. The time spent under the Ottomans would later inform his distrust of alliances and unswerving commitment to vengeance. Vlad returned to Wallachia in 1448, following his father's assassination by rival boyars, nobles. His path to power was fraught with conflict. Wallachia was embroiled in a constant tug-of-war between rival factions and foreign powers, particularly Hungary and the Ottoman Empire. Vlad briefly claimed the Wallachian throne in 1448, but was swiftly ousted. He spent the next several years in exile, building alliances, planning his return, and refining his fierce determination to consolidate power. In 1456, he staged a successful coup, beginning his most notorious reign. Vlad ascended the throne with one clear goal: to secure Wallachian independence and stability by any means necessary. Vlad's rule is infamous for its brutality, defined by his use of impalement as a punishment and deterrent. Impalement, a method of execution that involved driving a sharpened stake through the body, was horrifyingly effective. To Vlad, it was both a tool of justice and a means of psychological warfare. One of the most infamous episodes of Vlad's reign occurred during his conflict with the Ottoman Empire. When an Ottoman army marched into Wallachia, they were met with a gruesome spectacle: a forest of thousands of impaled corpses stretching for miles, a macabre warning from Vlad. Stories of this terrifying sight quickly traveled, cementing Vlad's reputation as a ruler who would stop at nothing to protect his realm. But Vlad's cruelty was not reserved for foreign invaders. Domestically, he waged an uncompromising campaign to crush dissent and consolidate power. Corrupt boyars who sought to undermine his rule were swiftly executed, often impaled. Others faced similarly grim fates if they were found guilty of crimes or treachery. Such measures were extreme, yet they enforced order during a chaotic time. To supporters, Vlad was a hero, a leader who eliminated corruption and safeguarded Wallachian sovereignty. To his enemies, however, he was a monster. While history often fixates on Vlad's cruelty, it is crucial to recognize his role as a defender. Wallachia's location made it a critical frontier between Christian Europe and an expanding Ottoman Empire. Vlad understood the precarious position of his principality and sought to assert its independence against overwhelming odds. Throughout his reign, Vlad launched daring military campaigns to repel Ottoman incursions. His strategies often relied on guerrilla tactics, ambushes, and psychological warfare. While armies larger than his own marched into Wallachia, they frequently found themselves demoralized before the first battle had begun, unnerved by Vlad's fearsome reputation and the horrors they encountered. At the same time, Vlad negotiated with European powers like Hungary, often seeking support for his efforts. To this day, opinions are divided on whether his actions were those of a patriot fighting for his people's survival or a power-hungry ruler obsessed with domination. By the late 1460s, Vlad's power began to wane. His penchant for brutality and unrelenting campaigns against the boyars earned him numerous enemies. Even his alliances with European rulers proved fragile, as politics shifted unpredictably. Vlad was eventually captured by Hungarian forces in 1462 and imprisoned for over a decade. Despite this setback, he managed to return to power briefly in 1476, reclaiming the Wallachian throne. However, his final reign was short-lived. Later that year, Vlad was killed in battle against the Ottomans. Accounts of his death vary. Some claim he was assassinated, while others suggest he fell on the battlefield. His body was allegedly decapitated, with his head sent to the Ottoman Sultan as proof of his demise. The ultimate fate of his remains remains a mystery, with some legends suggesting a secret burial in a monastery. After his death, Vlad Dracula's legacy evolved into something far greater than his historical deeds. For Romanians, he became a symbol of national pride and independence, celebrated for his defiance of foreign domination and his unwavering commitment to protecting his homeland. In Western literature and popular culture, however, Vlad's image took on a more sinister form. His name and reputation inspired the fictional Count Dracula, immortalized in Bram Stoker's 1897 Gothic novel. This association blurred the boundaries between fact and fiction, amplifying Vlad's legend and ensuring that his story would echo through the centuries. Scholars today continue to debate Vlad's role in history. Was he an unequivocal tyrant, or was his cruelty a necessary response to the unique challenges of his era? As with many historical figures, the truth lies in the conjunction of his achievements and his atrocities. The story of Vlad the Impaler endures not just because of his infamous acts, but because it speaks to the complexities of leadership in a dangerous time. A man molded by betrayal, survival, and an unyielding desire for power, Vlad Dracula's life holds a mirror to the turbulence of his era. For history enthusiasts, his tale offers more than sensationalism. It provides lessons about authority, resilience, and the choices leaders make when faced with existential threats. Whether viewed as a ruthless tyrant or a determined protector, Vlad's life challenges us to examine how legends are formed and how history remembers those who dared to wield power.